Ben Bernanke. He tells Republican senators that the Fed has no plans to help European banks. He makes no promises. He actually did make the promise, no bailout. Joining the company with us right now here in New York is Larry Shover. He's with Efficient Capital Management. All right, Larry, is this a good thing or a bad thing for the markets when Ben Bernanke promises in writing no European bailout?
Well, it's a great thing for the markets, but keep in mind there is something that he can do. I mean, he can provide loans to U.S. banks who can then open up their discount window to make loans to these banks in Europe. But you have to keep in mind that's a lot like It's a Wonderful Life, you know.
Okay, so wait a second. All he said is that I'm not going to print money and directly give it to the European Central Bank or anybody else in Europe. It's just a direct giving of our dollars. That's all he said that he will not do, correct?
That's correct. That's what I read so far.
But he could still allow American banks to go to the discount window, pick up virtually dirt cheap, free dollars,
right,
and siphon the money to Europe that way. That's possible?
That is possible, but the problem is that when Uncle Billy loses the cash and goes to Bailey Savings and Loan on a bank run, there's no money to be had. So in other words, the discount window is only going to be relevant when the liquidity is good. When the liquidity is bad, all bets are off, so that won't work.
So you think this is good for America, good for America's markets?
Right now
he's made this promise. Right now, that's good.
I mean, good grief. We're what, $15 trillion in debt? We're borrowing from the Chinese to give money to somebody else who's not implementing austerity? Why should we do that?
But don't you want to see a bailout of Europe, maybe helped by us? Because if there's no bailout of Europe and they crash, surely that is bad for us.
Yeah, and the bigger picture, I do think will go down in history as how we treat our brother, the country, our fellow citizen, whatever have you. But we can't enable people by just printing money. We need to allow the ECB do what it needs to do, open up their windows, let them print money.
I'm a little surprised, actually. I always thought Ben would crank up the printing presses in a moment of world crisis. I thought he would do it.
Well, you know, the printing press is warm, but somebody else is going to start printing. It's not going to be us.
Okay. All right, Larry Shover, good stuff. Thanks for joining us again, as always.